So Dr. Williams tells us that the world has been controlled by one pattern of energy, which has been in place for a very long time. Inside of you, it has bred several things: compassion, empathy, caring, loving, nurturing. On top of all that is worrying, feeling hurt, abandoned, rejected, not loved, or being seen or heard. Needing to feel every moment is an Atlantean energy. Atlantean energy is a very beautiful energy. We're all vulnerable because we feel, and more than anything, we try to cut off the depth of our capacity to feel. Now, complete openness to feeling means openness to love, because ultimately, feeling is love. The origin of all feeling is love. The first feeling is love. If you follow your feelings all the way back, what will you come to finally? You can go on and on through many feelings, and eventually you find that the basic feeling is love.
Every time you are feeling or you are in a moment where consciousness is, just by simply saying, I am feeling, I'm aware, it's an awakening, it's an alertness, it's an awareness, it's a state where you can say, all feelings derive out of love. It just depends on how we dilute it or pollute it with other things. But every time you can feel that current of feeling, you alert yourself. You take a piece of the tapestry and you add it to the quilt, because that's how you weave those layers of awareness.
You're most vulnerable when you're experiencing love. Beyond love is unity, where vulnerability and invulnerability become one.
So beyond love is unity, where vulnerability and invulnerability becomes one.
There's an echo.
Keep going.
Okay. Love is the first emanation, the first particularization of the supreme reality, which is unity. The first expression, the first breath of the unity is divine, universal love with its sweetness and delicacy. That's where you are the most vulnerable, before your vulnerability becomes invulnerability. When you're loving, you still feel at the mercy of everything. Love is the highest, the deepest, the most intense, the most expansive possibility of feeling. Love is the heart. Beyond love is the supreme reality, which is beyond feeling or no feeling. So vulnerability is vulnerability to love.
Wow. So vulnerability is vulnerability to love. That's another wonderful little statement on your makeup mirror when you get ready in the morning.
So vulnerability is vulnerability to love, and extremely deep vulnerability is love. If you really are vulnerable, you are loving. You can't help but be loving. And if you're very loving, you can't help but feel vulnerable. If you allow yourself to feel, your heart is completely open. This love is boundless love. It's like a boundless heart, a heart with no barriers, no boundaries, no defenses. You can't do it by saying, I'm doing this so I'll become invulnerable. That very thought is a barrier. You have to be vulnerable with no defenses, without even the thought of a defense.